Super senses. Our senses are amazing. They tell us about the world around us. We can see beautiful colors, hear amazing sounds, and taste delicious food. But there's more to our senses than we realize. They have hidden superpowers. For example, did you know your nose can smell over 1 trillion scents? That's incredible. Our sense of smell is super powerful. It's also very connected to our memories and emotions. Have you ever noticed how a familiar smell can bring back a childhood memory? The scent of freshly baked cookies might remind you of your grandma's kitchen. That's because our sense of smell is directly linked to the part of our brain that processes memories and emotions. The amazing nose knows. Think about the smell of freshly cut grass. Does it remind you of summer days playing outside? Or maybe the smell of popcorn reminds you of going to the movies. That's your amazing nose at work, connecting scents to memories. Our sense of smell is also linked to our emotions. Have you ever smelled something that made you feel happy or relaxed? Certain scents, like lavender or vanilla, are known for their calming effects. That's why people use scented candles and essential oils to create a relaxing atmosphere. Growing like trees. Did you know that our ears and noses never stop growing? It's true. As we get older, they get a little bigger. This happens because of the cartilage in our ears and noses. Cartilage is a strong and flexible tissue. Unlike bone, which stops growing, cartilage continues to grow throughout our lives. Another reason our ears and noses seem to grow is gravity. Over time, gravity can cause them to elongate slightly. It's like how a tree branch might droop a little as it gets longer. Don't worry though, it's a very slow process. In fact, our ears only grow about 0.22 millimeters per year. That's less than the width of a hair. Let's talk about how smelling and hearing actually work. These two senses are crucial for our interaction with the world around us, providing us with essential information about our environment. They help us enjoy the aroma of a delicious meal, the fragrance of blooming flowers, and the sound of music or a loved one's voice. But how do these processes actually happen? Let's dive deeper into the fascinating mechanisms behind smelling and hearing. When we smell something, tiny molecules from that object travel up our nose. These molecules are released into the air from various sources like food, flowers, or even the environment around us. As we inhale, these scent molecules enter our nasal passages, beginning their journey to our brain. These molecules are like little messengers carrying information about the scent. Each type of molecule has a unique structure that corresponds to a specific smell. This is why different objects have distinct scents and why we can differentiate between the smell of a rose and a freshly baked pie. Inside our nose, there's a special area called the olfactory epithelium. This region is located at the top of the nasal cavity and is covered with a layer of mucus. The olfactory epithelium is crucial for detecting smells because it contains millions of olfactory receptor neurons. This area is full of olfactory receptors, which are like tiny sensors that detect different scent molecules. Each receptor is specialized to recognize specific types of molecules. When a scent molecule binds to a receptor, it triggers a series of chemical reactions within the cell. When a scent molecule binds to a receptor, it sends a signal to our brain, which identifies the smell. This signal travels along the olfactory nerve to the olfactory bulb, a structure located at the base of the brain. The olfactory bulb processes the information and sends it to other brain regions, allowing us to recognize and respond to different smells. Hearing works in a similar way, but instead of molecules, it involves sound waves. Sound waves are created by vibrations that travel through the air, and they can come from various sources like musical instruments, voices, or even natural phenomena like thunder. Sound waves travel through the air and enter our ears. The outer ear, which includes the ear canal, funnels these waves towards the eardrum. The shape of our outer ear helps to capture sound waves more efficiently and direct them inward. These waves cause our eardrums to vibrate. The eardrum, or tympanic membrane, is a thin, flexible membrane that separates the outer ear from the middle ear. When sound waves hit the eardrum, they cause it to move back and forth, creating vibrations. The vibrations are then passed on to tiny bones in our middle ear, called the hammer, anvil, and stirrup. These three bones, also known as the ossicles, work together to amplify the sound vibrations and transmit them to the inner ear. These bones amplify the vibrations and send them to the cochlea, a snail-shaped organ in our inner ear. The cochlea is filled with fluid and lined with thousands of tiny hair cells that play a crucial role in hearing. The cochlea is filled with fluid and tiny hair cells. When the vibrations reach the cochlea, they create waves in the fluid, causing the hair cells to move. These hair cells are incredibly sensitive and can detect even the slightest movement. When the vibrations reach the cochlea, they cause the fluid and hair cells to move. The movement of the hair cells generates electrical signals that are sent to the auditory nerve. This movement creates electrical signals that are sent to our brain, which interprets them as sound. The auditory nerve carries these signals to the auditory cortex, the part of the brain responsible for processing sound. This complex process allows us to perceive and understand the sounds around us from a whisper to a symphony. Our senses work together to create our experiences. They are the gateways through which we perceive the world around us, allowing us to interact with our environment in a meaningful way. Each sense contributes a unique piece to the puzzle, forming a complete picture of our surroundings. For example, imagine eating a slice of pizza. It's not just about the taste, it's a multi-sensory experience that engages all your senses. You see the cheesy goodness, the golden crust, and the steam rising from the freshly baked pizza. The visual appeal is the first thing that draws you in. Then you smell the warm bread, the aromatic herbs, and the rich tomato sauce. The scent alone can make your mouth water. As you take a bite, you hear the satisfying crunch of the crust, a sound that promises a delightful texture. Your taste buds then come alive with the tangy tomato sauce, the savory cheese, and the various toppings. Finally, you feel the texture of the crust in your hands and mouth, completing the sensory symphony. All of your senses work together to create that delicious sensory experience. It's a perfect example of how our senses collaborate to enhance our enjoyment and understanding of the world. To appreciate the power of your senses, try this fun experiment. It's a simple yet effective way to understand how each sense contributes to your perception. Gather a few objects with distinct smells like a lemon, coffee beans, or soap. These items have strong, recognizable scents that will make the experiment more interesting. Close your eyes and have a friend hold each object under your nose. Without the aid of sight, your sense of smell becomes more acute, allowing you to focus solely on the scent. Can you guess what each object is using only your sense of smell? This exercise highlights the importance of each sense and how they work independently and together. You can do a similar experiment with sounds. Close your eyes and listen to different noises around you. Try to identify them without looking. This will help you appreciate the nuances of your auditory sense and how it helps you navigate your environment. Our senses are essential for survival. They help us find food, avoid danger, and navigate our surroundings. Imagine trying to cross a busy street without being able to see or hear. Our senses provide us with the information we need to stay safe and interact with the world around us. Our senses also play a crucial role in our emotional and social well-being. Think about how music can make you feel happy or sad, or how a hug from a loved one can be comforting. Our senses allow us to connect with others, experience different emotions, and appreciate the beauty of the world. Over millions of years, our senses have evolved to help us survive and thrive. From the earliest days of our existence, our senses have been our primary tools for interacting with the world around us. They have guided us through the darkness, alerted us to dangers, and helped us find food and shelter. These senses have been finely tuned by the process of natural selection, ensuring that only the most acute and beneficial traits were passed down through generations. Our ancient ancestors relied heavily on their senses to hunt for food, escape predators, and find mates. The sharpness of their vision allowed them to spot prey from a distance, while their acute hearing could detect the faintest rustle of leaves, signaling the approach of a predator or the movement of potential prey. Their sense of touch helped them navigate their environment, feeling the textures of different materials and understanding their surroundings better. For example, their sense of smell was crucial for tracking prey and detecting danger. The ability to distinguish between different scents could mean the difference between life and death. A faint whiff of a predator's scent could trigger an immediate response, while the smell of ripe fruit could lead them to a much-needed meal. This heightened sense of smell was not just about survival, it also played a role in social interactions and bonding within groups. Today, while we may not rely on our senses for survival in the same way, they are still an integral part of what makes us human. In our modern world, our senses help us navigate the complexities of daily life. From the blaring horns of traffic to the subtle aroma of a home-cooked meal, our senses are constantly at work, providing us with information and enriching our experiences. Even in the digital age where screens dominate our attention, our senses remain as vital as ever. Our senses are truly remarkable, and the more we learn about them, the more we can appreciate their complexity and importance in our lives. Each sense is a marvel of biological engineering with intricate mechanisms that allow us to perceive the world in vivid detail. Scientists continue to uncover the mysteries of how our senses work, revealing the astonishing ways in which our brains process sensory information. This ongoing research not only deepens our understanding but also opens up new possibilities for enhancing and preserving our sensory abilities. So the next time you take a bite of your favorite food, close your eyes and savor all the different sensations. Pay attention to the texture, the flavors, and the aromas that make the experience so enjoyable. By focusing on these sensory details, you can enhance your appreciation of the moment and connect more deeply with the world around you. It's a simple yet powerful way to celebrate the incredible capabilities of your senses. You'll be amazed by the symphony of senses happening right under your nose. Each bite, each breath, each moment is a testament to the extraordinary sensory system that has evolved over millions of years. Embrace it, cherish it, and let it remind you of the incredible journey of human evolution.